The train station was mostly deserted. Jake shivered. The air was cold. He was exhausted. It had been a long day at work. Jake just wanted to go home. He checked his watch. It was almost midnight. The train pulled into the station. It was the last train of the night. Jake boarded. The train was practically empty. Jake walked through the train cars. He was looking for a seat. The train was strangely empty. He felt a chill run down his spine. It was as if the train itself was a ghost. A shiver traveled down his spine despite the warmth of his coat. The emptiness of the train was unnerving. Finally, Jake found a seat near the back. He settled into the worn upholstery. He looked around the carriage. A lone figure sat in the shadows at the other end. The man was dressed in a dark coat. His face was obscured by a wide-brimmed hat. Jake looked away. He tried to ignore the man. Suddenly the train lurched. It pulled out of the station. The doors slid shut with a heavy thud. At that moment an elderly woman stumbled into the carriage. She was breathing heavily. She looked around frantically. The woman spotted Jake and hurried towards him. Her face was a mask of fear. She whispered urgently, "You need to get off at the next stop." Section 5. A difficult choice. Jake was taken aback. He hesitated, unsure of how to react. The woman's fear was palpable. Her warning, though strange, seemed genuine. He looked from the woman to the shadowy figure at the end of the carriage. The man hadn't moved. His face was still hidden. Jake felt a knot of unease in his stomach. Section 6. A hasty departure. The train screeched as it approached the next station. The announcement echoed through the mostly empty carriages. The doors opened. Jake hesitated for a moment longer. Then, he stood up abruptly. He didn't look back. He hurried off the train and onto the platform. The doors hissed shut behind him. Section 7. A restless sleep. Jake watched the train pull away from the station. He felt a wave of relief wash over him. He couldn't shake off the feeling of unease. The woman's warning, the shadowy figure, the empty train, it all felt ominous. Jake went home. He tried to shake off the unsettling feeling. He couldn't sleep well. Section 8. The morning news. The next morning Jake woke with a start. He couldn't shake the unsettling dream that had clung to him throughout the night. He turned on the radio. The news was flooded with a breaking story. The last train of the night had derailed. There were no survivors. Jake sat in stunned silence. Section 9. The gift of foresight. The woman's warning echoed in his ears. He shivered. He had narrowly escaped a terrible fate. He thought about the shadowy figure at the end of the carriage. Who was he? Was he somehow involved? Jake would never know. But one thing was clear. He had been given a second chance. He would never ignore his instincts again.